Good morning. I am on my way to work and I just wanted to say hi before I get going with my day. I am setting it up in landscape view this time. If you looked at the video yesterday, you saw that it was in portrait view, and I remembered too late that it's way better to do videos in landscape. So, see, I can be taught. Look, I'm learning things. Still waking up though, haven't had a lot of coffee yet, so we're still in process. I've also got the speaker facing to the side, to that way, basically, because yesterday it was down, and as the air conditioning was blasting, it probably sounded like you were in a wind tunnel. So I'm experimenting to see if this is a little bit easier way to pick up my voice. The air conditioning isn't going very hard because it's still morning and it's still fairly cool, so better sound, better quality. That's what I'm going for. So I just wanted to reach out and ask if anybody else is going to GenCon Online. I hope Josh and I aren't going to be the only ones. We are excited. We've got our wish list pretty much ready. We might be adding a few things, but for the most part, we've got a lot of Paizo stuff. Pathfinder 2nd Ed. I'm not sure if he's going to register for a Starfinder game or not. He's done one Starfinder game online on Roll20, and it went really well, so he might try to do another one. I like Starfinder. It's hard for me to keep the different rule set in my head, because since Pathfinder went to 2nd Ed, there are definitely some differences from 1st Ed, and so I'm still getting used to those and getting comfortable. Starfinder resembles 1st edition in some ways, and so then I start getting things kind of blurred in my head. So I will eventually get into Starfinder, I'm sure I will, but right now I'm just trying to get my feet under me with 2nd Ed. We've played a number of games online on Roll20 for Pathfinder 2nd Ed. We played games at PaizoCon, and we also played games at Concurrent. Concurrent was the Paizo convention that was supposed to run at the same time as Origins Online, but after Origins Online was canceled, Paizo just decided to continue with their Concurrent because they had around 450 events that they had registered to do with Pathfinder 1st Ed, 2nd Ed, and Starfinder games. So rather than disappoint everybody, they just ran Concurrent 2020. So we did that. If you are looking to do any online 1st Ed, 2nd Ed, or Starfinder games, make sure you've got Roll20 installed on your computer, and try to play around with it, or try to find a YouTube video tutorial on how to use it. It's fairly intuitive. I like it a lot. I think it does a lot of things well. One of my favorites is that you can use the line tool to figure out how far a move will take you. So it kind of helps that age-old Pathfinder question, right? Can I get there from here in one move? It answers that question. Also, the way it rolls dice is great if you're not a big math person. So you just plug in /roll space and then 10d6 for your fireball or whatever. And it rolls them and it adds them all up for you. So it just gives you your final total. So you don't have to worry about all that addition, which is awesome. There's other stuff that I like about it too, but those are two of my big ones. So if you're going to do that, make sure that you get Roll20 on your computer and you're ready to go. Also, you're going to want Discord. That is how Paizo does their sound for Pathfinder and their Starfinder games. So get a Discord account, get a Roll20 account, and try to find a YouTube video tutorial-wise on how they work. It's probably going to be a lot of Zoom if you're planning to do any board games, but I'm really curious about how a board game works at a convention online. Is it Zoom? Is there some other program that I haven't heard about? Probably, that they use. But at any rate, I'm very interested. I also wondering if they're going to do the Pathfinder card game. And are they going to do it by Zoom and Discord maybe? Roll20 isn't going to work for that. I'm really intrigued on that one too. I wonder how they're going to do it. At any rate, Paizo always has a huge presence at GenCon. And they are doing the special. Yes, they are. I think we have it on our wish list like 5 times to try really hard to get into it, because we didn't get into it last year. We tried, but we did not get into it. So hopefully this year we'll get into it along with some of the other games. I'm excited because in 2nd Ed I'm actually playing a character. I'm playing a melee character. I'm playing a monk, which I hardly ever play. Normally I play casters or ranged, but I don't normally do melee, so it's been really fun. It's been a different way of thinking about fights and encounters, because monks get right there in the middle of it, and they're the most powerful when you put them in the center of the action. So that's a nice change. I also want to try a druid in second ed. I never really wanted to touch a druid in first ed. They seemed OP to me. I want to try it in second ed and see what I think of it. And also possibly a wizard. I never played a wizard caster. Played clerics, I played sorcerers. I haven't played a bard at one point, but never played a wizard. But wizards are intelligence based, and so I should probably play a wizard because I think it would suit my personality. So that's another one that's on my bucket list to play with second ed. That's about all I've got for you guys this morning. I'm going to be to work in about 5 minutes, maybe 7. And I will connect with you guys either at lunchtime or after work. Depends how my lunch hour goes. So I will talk to you lovely folk a little bit later. Have a good one. I am on my way home. Work was good. Definitely busy, but it wasn't too bad. And Josh is picking up dinner at the New Bethel Ordinary, which is going to be yummy. We're going to get their taco dia. And if it is as yummy as it sounds on paper, it will be good stuff. So I don't have to pick up dinner tonight, which is splendid. So I was at work and I was thinking about some of the things I was talking about yesterday and earlier this morning, and I realized that there are a lot of games that have a ton of characters that you can play. And I was thinking how much time it would take to play all of those characters. The main one I was thinking of was Red Dragon Inn, because we have the character trove, and I think we have every character that's ever been made for Red Dragon Inn. I think we have about 40 characters inside that thing. It is humongous. So to play every single character, you'd have to play 40 games of it. And I probably only played 4 or 5. And so that would be a fun question to ask you all. Comments below. What character would you like us to play? And what would you like Josh to play? And what would you like me to play? My personal favorite is Fiona the Volatile, because there is nothing more satisfying than slamming down a glass on the table and saying, "No more chainmail bikini jokes!" I also like Deidre the Priestess, because she is so prim and so proper, and my goddess protects me. Either way, both of those are my 2 favorite. And if you have one, especially one of the newer ones that you haven't seen played before, let me know, because we could do an actual play with Josh and I, or that could be as big a game as you want it to be. I think the biggest I've ever played in was an 8-player. I think we tried that one time, and it takes so long because there are so many players. And you risk ganging up on certain players, so you have to be really careful the way you do it. Otherwise, it's not fun for everybody. I think the ideal number is 4. I love playing Red Dragon Inn with 4 players. I think it's perfect. So hopefully we'll get a chance to do that. Another one that has a ton of characters is Villainous. I have only played the base game of Villainous, and we have all 3 expansions on top of the base game. Yeah, I've still only played the base game. I've played as Maleficent, and I've played as Ursula. I won as Maleficent. I did not win as Ursula, but I had a good time. So we've got to break out some of the expansions to Villainous. So that's another game that we really like playing, but we haven't dug into the expansions, even though we own them all. They're made by the same people who do the game Horrified, and you can actually buy Horrified and Villainous at Target, if you weren't already aware. Josh and I love Horrified. It is such a great game. It scales up really well. If you want to make it harder, you just add more villains. They're the classic Universal monsters. So there's Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Mummy, Frankenstein's monster and his bride. Let's see what else is in that one. The Wolfman, and there's a 6th one that I'm forgetting. Oh, the Invisible Man. That's it. Those are the 6. And you can have 1, you could have 2, you could have 3. We've never played with 3. We have played with 2 and we've beaten it, but we've never played with 3. So, really fun game. We played it once at GenCon and I loved it so much. I told Josh halfway into the playtest, you gotta buy this game. And he bought it online at Target because they were all sold out of GenCon. And it was at our house, I think the Monday after GenCon. And we played it a lot. And it's still one of my favorites that we can just pull out. And it's not a complicated game to learn either. The mechanic is pretty easy. So, is it Ravensburger, I believe, did a really good job with that game. So, if you're a classic horror movie fan, you'll love it. And Villainous is also very easy to play. Not as easy as Horrified. I think Horrified's a better game to get into if you have somebody who is just getting into playing games and is trying to figure out if they like it or not. I would start them with Horrified before Villainous. Villainous has some more rules and some nuances with each of the villains that you need to learn. The way you play Ursula is different from the way you play Maleficent, for example. But still a very enjoyable game. And if you have a Disney fan, you're going to want to show them Villainous because they do a good job of helping the villain's character to come out in the way you play the character. So I think it's a great game, but if they're not as big a Disney fan, start them out with Horrified. Alright, well, I'm going to finish my drive home. I'm going to eat some yummy dinner, and then we are going to be headed to church. So I think this will be Dr. Den with the Established Facts, signing off. Game on.